and welcome back to TGR, that's Gaming Robo. Now today guys, as you can see, we are going through Championship Manager 0102 best free transfers on the game. Now if you select your players carefully, you can actually make a team based around the free transfers within this game. So without further ado guys, let's start this video so you can see who exactly makes the best free transfers for your team. So first of all, we're going to start off with two goalkeepers. Now the first one in question is Robo Kovacevic. Now he's a Yugoslavian goalkeeper. Stats doesn't look that good, to be fair with you, but he does turn out to be a really good goalkeeper for a lower league team if you do have the money for it. Other than that, you're looking for a championship team to build your team around him. Now the second goalkeeper in mind is this one right now, Alandro. Once again, there's another goalkeeper that doesn't really show fantastic stats, but he is another goalkeeper that can do really well for you if you're within a team, once again from the championship below. He will do fantastically well for you. And once again, you're looking at a free goalkeeper. It wouldn't take that much at all to sign him on a free transfer, looking at the basic wage salary. But those are the two goalkeepers that I have that I think are the best ones for you for championship and below. We're now going to look at the right backs of the game. John Scales. Now with John Scales, everyone knows, obviously from John playing for Tottenham Hotspurs back in the day. But with John, unfortunately, with him being 35 years of age, you can probably get 2 years out of him at the very most. Failing that, you'll just get 1 season out of him. Once again, it doesn't take a lot to offer him a basic wage on this game. But with him being an experienced right back, it's very crucial for your team to have him within your team. Now the second right back is this guy, Percy Oliveres. Now Percy Oliveres, once again, he's another experienced player. An experienced player who's obviously played in the Greek league. But looking at his stats, it does look like he's a potential star player in the making for your team. And once again, you're probably looking a few £1,000s basic salary to get him to join your team. But you have to sign him pretty quickly when you start the game because he gets snapped up very quickly. But that's it for the right backs, guys. So we're now going to show you who are the best left backs of the free transfer list on this game. Robert Yarni. Now Robert Yarni, he's a very experienced player, as you can see through his history here. Obviously the biggest teams he had played for was Juventus and Real Madrid, and with that he'd obviously only played for them 1 season each for both teams respectively. Now he is Croatian, he is 32 years old, so you're probably going to get 3, maybe 4 seasons out of him. But within that, he's got a very good pace, very good acceleration, and he's also fantastic with his set pieces as well. So in my own personal eyes, if you had the choice to get in an experienced defender, he would be one of the main choices for you. If you're playing for a championship team side or lower. But that's it for Robert Yarni. Let's see who is the other left back that's actually made this list. Of course, it's Taribo West, one of the legends of the game. Taribo West is without a shadow of a doubt probably one of the best free transfer players you will ever get the chance to buy on this game. Don't really need to see much about Taribo West apart from the fact that he's a legend. End of story. This is one guy that you definitely need to be buying for your team. And the best thing about it, he can play at left back or he can even play at centre back as well. But that's it for the left back, guys. We're going to go straight into the centre backs and see who are the best centre backs for the free transfer. Roberto Solozabal. Now, Roberto Solozabal, he is a fantastic centre-back. Once again, he is an older player. He is an experienced player on this game. He does have 12 international caps for Spain under his belt. And he is a guy that you could probably get 3, maybe 4 years out of him before he retires on the game. But it is essential to have someone as well equipped as this guy for your defensive unit if you're playing for a team that's in Championship or below. So this guy right here, he's probably going to take about £5,000 a week to actually sign for you, and with him you would need a good partnership, and a good partnership is this guy, Felipe Herrero. Now Felipe Herrero, he is another Spaniard, and he is a very good defensive centre back. And once again, he is another player with a rich history within the Spanish football. Now, he didn't manage to come into great heights within football itself, but on the game, he's a fantastic freebie to have within your defensive unit side. Now, Felipe Herrero probably is going to take about maybe 4,500 to sign for your team. But once again, if you partner him up with Roberto, you've got a really good defensive centre backs within your team. Now, there is one more centre-back that I want to show you, and it's this guy right here, Javier Luciano Margas. Now, Javier, obviously, with him being Chilean, he'd obviously had a bigger history than what you see right here, but not been recorded, unfortunately. But you can see in his stats, he is someone that's fantastic to have within your team. Now, if you want to play as a 3-man defensive unit, or if you want to play as a 4-man defensive unit, or with a 5-man defensive unit, Javier definitely needs to be one of those players that you need within your team. So that's it for the centre-back guys, and that's it for the defenders in general. So now what we're going to look through now is the defensive midfielders stroke centre midfielders that you would need within your team for the best free transfers. Josep Guardiola. Now, everyone knows Pep Guardiola today, but Josep on this game, he's fantastic to have. An absolutely brilliant freebie to have. You're probably looking at about £7,500 as a basic salary that you'd need to offer him to get him for playing for your team. Now, he is brilliant if you play as a 4-1-2-1-2 formation. Other than that, if you're looking at a 4-3-3 formation, etc., you've got to make sure you play him as a defensive midfielder, not playing him as a midfield central, because you'll see the difference in his gameplay. Now, obviously, the main highlights for him really: influence 20, bravery 19, determination 19, teamwork 20, technique 18, set pieces 18. I mean, the list can go on. He's an absolutely brilliant player. If you do sign him on a free transfer and you think, I'm going to make a quick buck and I'm going to sell him, you're easily going to be making a lot of money for him. All right, guys. But I mean, if you're playing in the lower leagues, you're probably looking at about $500,000. If you're playing in the Championship, you're probably looking at about $1 million, maybe $1.5 million for him. But that's the first player in the defensive midfield, central midfield role. Here's the next one in the free transfer list. Billy McKinley. Now, Billy McKinley, you can get 3 seasons out of him. He takes about £3,000 as a basic salary to sign up. Now, okay, his stats doesn't look fantastic, especially if you're playing him against Pep Guardiola. But he's definitely a good player to have within your team as a backup if something goes wrong with Pep. So he's definitely someone that you should have within your team as a backup defensive midfielder. Don't worry, there's more midfielders coming up right now. Alfred Theory. Now, Alfred is one of these guys, actually, I've signed when I was doing a Barnsley career. They'd already been relegated, and I signed Alfred up in the second season, and I made him part of a 4-1-2-1-2 formation. It's a formation I seem to be playing a lot recently, and it really works well with him. I mean, his dribbling stats, his shots on target stats, they go quite well for him. I mean, when I was Barnsley manager, it took me just under £5,000 a week to sign him up. So it's definitely worthwhile having a look at him. Now, his history isn't that great. I mean, once again, he's had a longer history than that, but it's not been recorded good, unfortunately. But definitely one of these players in Alfred is definitely a player that you should look into within the free transfer list of the game. Now there is time for one more defensive midfielder stroke centre midfielder free transfer person. Who's the last one on my list? Karl-Heinz Flipsen. Now I know he plays as an attacking midfielder, but unfortunately with his pace and his acceleration, I play him as a central midfielder. And I feel actually personally that actually works really good for him. I mean, once again, he's another rich player. I mean, if you look through his history playing in the German football, he's playing for Mönchengladbach for the majority of the time. Then obviously played at Panathinaikos for a couple of seasons after that. With Karl-Heinz Flipsen, you are looking about £6,000 a week to get him playing for your team. But once again, if you're playing him in a 4-1-2-1-2 formation, which is what, as I mentioned before, I've been playing recently, partner him up with someone with like Pep Guardiola in the defensive midfield side and Alfred partnering him alongside him, then it's definitely going to be a player that will work well for you. But that's it for the central midfielders. Now we're going to look at the right wingers of the best free transfers. Scott Taylor. Now I'm purposely picking Scott Taylor for this list. I bought him when I was doing a Torquay United season, and he was working alongside Chris Brandon, one of the main Torquay United players there. But when Chris got injured, I had to play Scott Taylor, obviously as the main right winger, and he came out of his shell and he came up with a lot of fantastic performances. He's definitely a guy that's more of an assisting player rather than a goal scorer, unfortunately. But with saying that, having more, with him creating more chances than scoring, it just makes it look so much better, especially for a guy with his talents. I mean, he's played for Wolves and Reading in his past, and Leicester as well. With Scott Taylor, when I was managing Torquay United, it only cost me £750 a week to sign him. So it's very, very cheap to buy, and he's a good right winger to have as a backup right winger as well. We do have one more right winger to show you, and it is this guy, Kieran Richardson. Now, Kieran Richardson, his stats doesn't look that impressive, I will agree. But saying that, Kieran Richardson is a fantastic player, is one that you develop in the right way. If you are struggling when it comes to training schedules, there is a video on my channel of the best training schedules to use for developing your players. But going back to Kieran Richardson, he is a player that obviously, as many people know, played for Manchester United, and he went on to have an okay career in the Premier League. But talking about Kieran, his stats and his pace and acceleration on his stats go up massively when you put him in the right training program. With him, when I signed him for, I think I was playing Plymouth Argyle at the time, just trying to give myself a different challenge, it only cost me £250 a week to sign him. So once again, it's another cheap player to have within your team. But that's it for the right wingers, guys. We're now going to show you the left wingers, the best left wingers on the free transfer list. Now, Roberto Palacios, he's a fantastic player. Another guy that you can have within your team as a free transferred player. He's only 28 years old. You still get a good 5, 6, maybe 7 years out of him. And obviously, he's a very well-known Peruvian player as well, as you can see, having played for them 87 times. As it's been recorded on this game. Unfortunately, on the history side, it doesn't show anything on there. Of course, he has had a very rich footballing career. Now, with Roberto Palacios, it took me £4,000 to sign him as a basic salary. So he is a player that obviously brings you good stature, good wealth, but at the same time, it does take a pounding within your basic salary. Now, we do have one more left winger to show you, and it's this guy right here, Jesper Blomqvist. We all know Jesper Blomqvist, obviously being in the Manchester United 1999 treble season, and obviously he was the backup for Ryan Giggs within their team. But Jesper Blomqvist can be the main left winger for most clubs. I mean, once again, obviously he's a Swedish player, and on this game, for some reason, Swedish players seem to be, brings up the best crop of players on this game. Don't understand why, don't understand how, but they seem to do so. And Jesper Blomqvist is definitely one of those players. With him being attacking left winger, obviously being 27 years of age, you still can get 7, maybe 8 years out of him. And when I was managing, if I remember rightly, it was Fulham. Obviously, I know they were in the Premier League when I signed him up. But when I was managing Fulham, it only cost me just under £4,000 to sign him. So with that being Fulham in the Premier League, obviously the players will ask for more money. Being in the lower league, obviously he will ask for less money. But that's it for the left wingers, guys. We're now up to the strikers. And with the strikers, I'm going to be showing you 4 of the best free transfer players to have within your team. Kiko, or Kaiko, as many people do correct me, stating that's its name. Kaiko played for Atletico Madrid and he obviously played there for quite a number of years. In real life, he didn't come across as the main top goal scorer for the team, unfortunately. But when you buy him on this game, he is a natural born scorer. He definitely is. Once again, he's someone that doesn't come cheap. You are looking at nearly £5,000 as a basic salary to sign him, but you do easily get 5 years out of him playing for you in your team. And he's definitely a guy that will bang you so many goals, it's untrue. So he's definitely one player that you need to think of, first of all, if you're going to buy a team full of free transfer players. Geico is only one of my 4 top free transfer players to buy in as a striker. Here's the second choice that I have, Daniel Amokachi. Now, guys, I'm sure you remember him playing for Everton back in the day. When I was managing Watford on this game, I signed Daniel Amokachi. It took me just over £7,500 as a basic salary to get him to sign for me. Now, he is a natural born scorer on the game, a lot like Kaiko. So he's definitely someone that you need to look at if you're looking at if you're looking at buying someone on a free transfer. He should, as a striker, he should be one of the top 2 people that you should be looking at to buy. Now, he's the second choice. Let me show you who my third choice is on this game. Daniel Nardiello. Now, guys, I'm sure you can remember him playing for Manchester United back in the day. He is a very young player. He's 18 years of age. So once again, he's someone that you can nurture for your team. And he's definitely someone that can bounce really well when he's working alongside influential players within your team. And once again, he's a bit of a poacher. He just seems to get in the right places at the right time to score you goals. And he's a type of player, if you're playing in the Conference League or League 2 or League 1 or the Championship, he's definitely a player that gets you 20 plus goals. He's not a player that works well within the Premier League, of course, going against other strikers and obviously bigger, more established defenders. But going from the lower league up to the Championship, he's definitely a player that will work well for your team. Now, we do have one more striker to show you as the best free transfers on this game, guys. And that guy is this one. Hada Camacho. Now, Hada Camacho doesn't show much of his history, obviously playing for Sporting Gijón with his last club. Now, I picked him as my last choice of top strikers to sign on a free transfer, purely because I find with him, he works really well for, let's say, 10 games, and then all of a sudden, 3 games in a row, he doesn't perform. But he's another guy, unfortunately, that just bags you loads of goals. If you're playing him as an understudy for Kiko or Amokachi, he's definitely someone that you can bring on as a substitute, and he can change a game really, really well. And with Hada Camacho, it takes about £4,000 to get him as a basic salary, and with that, obviously, like as I said, he is my 4th top choice when it comes to the best free transfers on this game. So that's it, guys. There you have it. Those are my best free transferred players to buy on this game. Now, you can make a whole squad full of free transfer players, but you need to make sure that you do sign the right ones. of course. Apart from that, guys, thank you very much for your time. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found this video informative, and I hope it does help you build a bigger and better team when it comes to playing this game, Championship Manager 0102, the best free transfers of the game. Now, please don't forget to make sure you do watch the other content on our channel, and please make sure that you do smash the like on this video. And if you feel that I've missed any players out, that's really good free transfer players that you've bought and it's worked well for you, and I've not mentioned them, make sure you do put their name on the comments list. Apart from that, guys, I look forward to seeing you next time at our videos here at TGR. That's Gaming Robo. Just one more thing left to say to each and every one of you guys. Please make sure that you stay safe and subscribe. Roll the end credits, guys.